Derek.
Well, he certainly looked a lovely ride at Ascot. He did absolutely nothing wrong, cruised up there on the bit, and Walter really only had to relax his fingers. He'll probably have to do a little bit more than that today, though. Let's see how they bet now.
And Ashdal reverts back to 9-4 on from 2-1 on. Shady Heights now 5-2 from an opening price of 2-1. Genghis is 20-1 from 16-1, as is Mr. Majestic, the same price, 20s from 16s. And Rum Boogie, now the extreme outsider, at 50-1. They all show.
Well, Derek also talked to Steve Cawthon, the rider of Shady Heights, and asked Steve how he thought the extra furlong, the 7th furlong, would suit his mount.
Well, when I got off the horse after the race at Newbury, the Mill Reef, I said to Robert I thought the Dewhust was probably the race for the horse. I think that extra furlong will suit him really well, and that was his second race of his life. He's now had a bit of time to work and I think he learned quite a bit from that race. I'm hoping he'll run very, very well.
Can he beat Agile, the hopper?
$1 million question, isn't it?
Okay.
Joe, you watched the Newbury race. Shady Heights was certainly running on towards the end. I would think the extra furlong will be to his advantage.
I think it's very much to his advantage, John.
He's by Shirley Heights, out of a mare you probably rode vaguely. She was one of Sir John Astor's
I did ride right,
mares.
John.
I suspect you did.
Bred to get the distance, and I'm sure that Day's trip will be more to his likeness than the 6 furlongs.
He's not quite as impressive looking as his rival Agdal, but you wouldn't fault him much, would you?
I wouldn't fault any of them in the paddock.
There is Agdal, who is really quite beautifully made. I would say he's just under 16 hands. He might be 16 hands, but not as big and impressive as Nijinsky was when he came here to win this race. As I told you, 7 horses from this male line have won this race since Nijinsky. Agdal 9-4 on now, Shady Heights 5-2. 4 of those 7 Northern Dancer male line horses have not, in fact, trained on as 3-year-olds. So that don't absolutely rush to back Agdal off the board for next year's 2,000 guineas if he wins today. And, well, how fascinating it's going to be to see how close Shady Heights gets. They're all in. I'll hand over.
Yes, all 5 in, and all 5 are trained here at Newmarket, and that's it. And away they go to a pretty level break, except possibly for Genghis on the extreme outside, just slightly slowly away. But it's Rum Boogie, the outsider, the fractional early leader, but now passed by Mr. Majestic. So Ray Cochrane settles down in the lead on Mr. Majestic, followed by Rum Boogie on the inside, Pat Edry, who won the first on Aglassini. Then Shady Heights, the second favourite, up on the outside. They've covered a furlong and a half, and the last 2 at the moment are Genghis, the only course and distance winner, and finally the unbeaten odds-on favourite Agdal. At the end of a quarter of a mile, and they're going no great gallop, a fairly sedate pace set by Mr. Majestic, followed by Rum Boogie, Shady Heights, Genghis, and lastly the odds-on Agdal. At the end of 3 furlongs, that's the order, and here's Graham.
So who can quicken up the better? Agdal last at this stage, and Walter Swinburne is tracking Steve Cawthon. He's got him in his sights. They've got 3 furlongs left to go. William Hill Dewhust and Mr. Majestic from Rum Boogie, who's trying to stretch. Then Genghis, and then Shady Heights, and this pace should suit Agdal, who's got a turn of foot. They've got just over 2 to race. Mr. Majestic from Shady Heights, but Agdal cruising up on the outside. A furlong and a half to race, and Agdal now ranging alongside Mr. Majestic, who's a battler between the 2. Shady Heights looks out pace. They've got just over a furlong to go, and Agdal has quickened up and gone on in a matter of strides. It's Agdal clear from Shady Heights. Genghis coming through next to the rails, and Agdal has this race well and truly sewn up. Shady Heights in second place and up towards the line. Agdal tying up in front, but Agdal gets there. Agdal from Shady Heights and Genghis, then Mr. Majestic and Rum Boogie. And so Agdal, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained here at Newmarket by Michael Stout, and bred by Ralph.